Yo, 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 yo. Now that like button, man. K&M, what it is. Yo, so y'all know for the most part, yo, we been staying out of that Nolen Wells situation up until yesterday. Like I said, I think yesterday was the first time we really got something concrete. You know, outside of all the internet rumors and chatter. And it's a damn shame, yo, that Mississippi was trying to hide that shit like that. Respect Young, what it do? Like yo, they had this audio for 22 days with no arrest. If this is a group of black kids, man, they'd interrogated them vigorously. They haven't even sent the cadaver dug on the boat yet because they're looking at this as a drowning. That's a private boat, so they can't just investigate the boat, or search the boat, or send the dogs up there to the boat and smell for blood. Yet they can't do none of that because they're looking at it as a drowning, even with them knowing or listening to the audio. Yo, that is crazy. But I'm gonna put y'all on with something though. So get ready for this, y'all. Let me tell you what y'all need to get ready for. It's the narrative, y'all. Get ready. I'm telling y'all this now. Nolen Wells, witness told authorities Nolen Wells had heavy alcohol intake. How ironic. They released this article. Once we finally get some real answers. Witnesses told investigators that 18-year-old Nolen Wells had been drinking heavily with friends on Horn Island in Mississippi, according to a document with preliminary information from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. The document, a description sent on July 5th by Marine Patrol as part of attempts to find Wells after he went missing, was an email that listed basic information for Wells, including his physical description. As searchers scanned the island for signs of him after he went missing on July 4th. Wells was found dead on July 6th, and his cause of death is still not known. The official autopsy report from the State Medical Examiner's Office and the toxicology tests are still pending. So, yo, they're gearing this up to be a situation where he was drunk, he fell, and they just didn't call the police. That's what this ready come to. That's what this ready come to, yo. We finally get some real answers, and immediately come out with a fucking narrative. So I'm just letting y'all know what happened. He was drunk, highly intoxicated. And he fell. And these kids didn't murder him. They just didn't call the police. Which means they're going to be facing a whole bunch of minor charges, walk away with probation. Nobody gets held accountable for the murder. That's what's right happened. Just giving y'all a heads up. Yeah. Just give y'all heads up, y'all. So when it does happen, niggas don't nobody be surprised. I'm telling you, that's the move they ready to pull. Why they didn't Ben say this? Why they ain't been come out about how intoxicated he was? They held that, waited for it, just in case the truth was to come out that he was murdered. They could come back with this same day and say, oh, you know, he was heavily drunk. So now it's gonna be he fell. He was drunk, he fell, and the kids scrambled, they ain't know what to do, so they hit it. That's gonna be that's how that shit gonna end, y'all. And they gonna hit them with a whole bunch of misdemeanor charges. You know what I mean? Give them probation. Shit like that. Shit fucked up. What it is. You said they should still go to jail if you don't get help or overdue. Yeah, but they're not gonna do that to them, bro. They only do that shit to us. Just look at how they handling the investigation. Like, they're not even trying, they're not even putting the real press on them people, man. If they were to put the press on them boys, originally they'd all told. They treating them like victims. I'm sure all the kids got lawyers. Now at this point they probably can't get no information out of them because ain't none of them going to talk because they all got lawyers. But it's obvious from that video that Nolen Wells is murdered. It's obvious. I mean, from that audio that he was murdered. And it's an obvious cover-up. And everybody involved in the cover-up should face some type of consequences. But it ain't happening. So, Nancy Grace. I was watching Nancy Grace last night. And whoever she used clanked the fuck out that audio. Audio crystal clear. Listen to this shit. I don't even think they wanted that. I think that information might have been leaked. I don't think they wanted that to get out. That information might have been leaked, man. Somebody probably that was working in with the Marine Science Office or whatever the fuck it is. They probably heard that shit like, man, the public gotta hear this, man. They trying to cover up this man murder. Listen to this shit, y'all. Yeah, they killed him, y'all. They killed him and they wiped the boat down in the middle of the night. That's what they did. Killed him and wiped the boat down in the middle of the night. Listen to this shit.
Like, do we have a bunch of Bronco Sports?
Well, we do, but they're going fast because you have $6,000 off the 2025s.
No, stop.
What? Breaking news tonight in the Nolen Wells investigation. Enhanced distress call audio bombshell. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
He was face down on the beach right at the water's edge.
If he was sent face down, that also doesn't make sense to me. If he's face down, wouldn't blood pool just by nature of gravity this way?
So right now, we've got a lot of questions, but as the second doctor says, this is all still pending investigation.
If this were your child, wouldn't you want to know what happened?
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the West Pit Perform, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankle?
Say, Bart, you killed him. You got all these kids saying that Bart wasn't there. but obvious in his audio that he was there. But Nancy Grace ain't even cover that part. And she's still speaking about it like this is not real. So it's like, yo, even with her attempts to try to be fair, she still got a certain level of bias, you know, because she's not releasing everything. She's not releasing everything. She's giving people just enough to still remain skeptical. That's what she's doing.
Here. What was that? One more time, please.
Speaking, how can I help you?
Bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey,
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
it's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
Straight out to investigative
Yo.
reporter crime stories, Dave Mack.
It's obvious he's preoccupied. It's obvious that from time to time on that conversation, he was putting the phone on mute. It's obvious from all of that, man. You feel me? But nothing's gonna come out of it because they already gearing up for the excuse. Nothing is gonna come out of this outside of an accidental death and these kids trying to hide it. That's all we gonna get. Nothing more, nothing less.
Dave Mack, did you just hear what I heard? Now, this has been transcribed, and this is the CTO dispatch call. Because, Dave, when I first heard this, I thought, has this been doctored?
Yo, it was a fight, yo. I'm telling you, it was a fight. It was a fight before they got on the boat, and a fight continued once they got on the boat. It was a fight, yo. And somewhere along the lines in that fight, he hit his head, and he died, man. And instead of them kids getting help, they tried to conceal it. That's what happened. Yo, it was a lot of chaos. You gotta think, yo, we talking about drunk kids. A lot of them. You know, they like to paint the narrative that black kids the only ones that act unruly when they drunk. No, hell no, white kids probably ain't no different. But for some reason they don't get the same stereotype as black kids do. We just seen them set cars on fires and loot stores, and you know, they do everything it's just kids. That's what kids do. They all young, they all drunk. There's girls out there, ain't no parent supervision, and they act, and things got out of control. That's what happened, man.
Doctored? Is this real? Where's this coming from, Dave?
Nancy, this is coming from from Mississippi, from the actual official. Okay, when we get into the Mississippi Fish and Wildlife and at the reserve, putting this out for the public, this is not like from Dave Mack's recording. This is an official recording, Nancy, that is being issued, and it's shocking when you listen to this call for a tow, for the sea tow. Going further into it, Nancy, you're picking apart all of the different voices that can be heard on this one phone call, trying to determine what is really taking place on this boat that is allegedly sitting in 31 feet of water, a depth of 31 feet. And a bilge pump not working, claiming they're sinking, and calling for help. And yet, in the background, are we really hearing all of this other activity?
Guys, this was released from the MDMR, the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. Alexis Tereshchuk joining us out of LA, just joining us now, Crime Stories investigative reporter as well. Alexis, the transcription.
Man, they all covered it up. calling the sea tow place was all a cover up. That's why they didn't want the national. I mean, who the fuck the people that patrol the sea. That's why they ain't want them there. And ultimately, nobody ended up coming. They ended up getting a private tow. Everybody is a part of this cover up, even the 911 operator. The 911 operator heard them talking about somebody dying in the background. That's why she asked them, is the Coast Guard? She asked them, is everybody alive? She asked them that. She heard them in the background. But everybody's been quiet about this shit. In the full audio, the 911 operator asked them, was everybody alive? Because she heard the background noise.
As well, Alexis, the transcription. I want you to listen to it, Alexis, as we play it again. This is obtained from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. It's not something we just found on TikTok. Listen.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
They wasn't never sinking. That was all part of the bullshit. Like I said, Nancy Grace didn't even cover the whole audio. She didn't even cover the whole audio. Because the most important part in this audio was Bart. You killed him. You can hear that shit clear as day. And they said Bart wasn't there. Everybody's protecting Bart, saying he wasn't there. So it's obvious that Bart and Nolen got into a fucking fight.
Okay, Alexis Tereszchuk, jump in.
So it sounds like before the woman starts talking, the operator, everyone in the background is saying, is he dead? Nolen, wake the up. And so they are concerned about Nolen. They're saying literally, is he dead? Nobody has ever, none of the kids on this boat have ever admitted that anybody said that they thought Nolen was dead on the boat. This is the first time that we are hearing this.
What is the chance that this has been doctored in some way, Alexis Tereszchuk? Because circulating on the internet was a scene where another young man was face down being attacked on the sand. That was not Nolen Wells. That's
you see what she doing? Now she's trying to mix an obvious fake picture and compare it to a real situation. Like that didn't even have to be brought up. Nobody believes that. I didn't. That's why I ain't covering. Nobody believes that, man. But this is real. So why I bring that up in the context of explaining this? It's to devalue the audio. That's what I'm saying. She's covering it, but trying to devalue it at the same time. This is what these people do, man. There was no reason to bring up that fake picture at all.
Not Nolen Wells, repeat. So there are bottom feeders that are fabricating evidence and circulating it, and it's whipping up all sorts of hostility. But regarding this, have you listened to it independently of any transcription?
I have listened to it. I've listened to it over and over, and I've listened to the audio where it's only the sound of the boy calling in and not the operator's voice. So it takes a little bit of the distraction out, and you can just hear the voices, the one friend saying, is he dead? And we are hearing somebody very worried. They're saying, is he dead? Somebody, you think you might have heard them say Nolen right before that. Somebody then says, oh my God. So the thing is, there have been a lot of false videos. People have said there was a video where Nolen was screaming, saying, "Give me my phone back." His friend says, "No, that's me in the video." There have been tons of AI generated videos and images and things, but this is the official audio from the organization.
Okay, let's hear the audio to which you are referring. Listen. Now, it's my understanding, Dave Mack, that sound we just played is real sound. That is not doctored sound, but someone else claims that's them saying, "Give me my phone back." That is not Nolen Wells. Explain.
Well, Nancy, what we have is some friends that were also out on the boat trip out to Horn Island that were with Nolen Wells and were friends with Nolen Wells, claim that was him, that he was the one that was saying, "Give me my phone back," that it wasn't Nolen Wells. So we've got an identification from the person who says, "I was the one saying that. It wasn't Nolen Wells." And when you look...
Man, I don't believe none of that shit. Yeah, that mother and father know who the fuck what their child sound like. I don't believe nothing that's coming from them boys, man. Nothing. It's obvious they all in this together. It's obvious they all concocted a story. It's obvious they all trying to save the Bart dude. So at this point, right, and this is what I mean about this coverage, why even play that? They lying. So why play that audio and play it as if the kids are telling the truth and that can be believed? At this point, we don't know who the fuck that was. You understand what I'm saying? No matter who is claiming that that's them screaming and talking about a phone, we don't fucking know. You know, because once you lie again, yo, and I'm one of the ones that if I catch you in a lie, I don't believe nothing you say. Because I'm not the one that's going to pick. They got time to be cherry picking the truth. No, I'm just going to look at everything you said as a lie, yo. Because you lied once.
I was the one saying that. It wasn't Nolen Wells. And when you listen to the audio, Nancy, it does seem like it is not Nolen Wells saying, "Give me my phone back." It sounds like the guy claiming it.
How the fuck you know? You ever heard Nolen Wells say, "Give me my phone back, bitch"? I'm all sick of these people, man. Like, how you just gonna jump out the window and say that? You know who the fuck it was?
Guys, a lot of confusion surrounding the audio that has been released by the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. This, as we are also learning about an offer made by the United Cajun Navy to Ben Crump, who is representing Nolen's family. To Todd Terrell joining us, the president of the Cajun Navy. Todd, thank you for being with us tonight. Todd, explain to me the offer that you guys made to Crump.
Well, first of all, I want to make sure that I really am specific about the words I use because I don't want things taken out of context. Me personally, as president of the United Cajun Navy, made a call to Mr. Crump and offering him our services for dogs, cadaver dogs, and specific scent dogs. I never heard back from him. Our incident commander, Josh Gill, did speak to Liza Parks, I think he's one of his lead attorneys or whatever, and offered the services as well. The rumors about us talking to Mr. Crump, personally, I want to set the record straight. Nobody, myself, nor anyone from United Cajun Navy spoke personally to Mr. Crump. We did reach out and make an offer, but we did not hear back from him.
Okay, much has been made of the offer to, was it cadaver dogs, scent dogs, or both, Todd?
It was both. It was cadaver dogs and specific scent dogs. And, you know, some of this needs to be clarified, okay. and you know, that we did make an offer, but we did not hear from him himself.
Gotcha. There's a lot of people on the team, so
because see what makes it what makes the United States makes it about race. That's why race always come up in these type of situations, because this is not the first time something like this happened. It seems like a regular occurrence when someone black is hanging with a group of white kids and that black person dies. Justice is delayed. You know, it happens time and time again. We covered the case with the black girl that was hanging with the white girls at the that had the pajama party overnight. They wake up in the morning, she fell off the fucking balcony. Nobody knows what happened though. Nobody ever gets charged. That's what makes it race, man. It's not race between the people. And that's the thing that a lot of white people don't understand. Black people beef is not with white people. Black people beef is with the system, man. It's the system that was designed by white people that's unfair to blacks. That's where race come into play. And then you got racist white people, not all, but you got racist white people that will overlook all the facts just to stand behind a system that's not fair. It's not fair. Blatantly not fair. And they stand beside it. So now you got, instead of the real issue being addressed between black people in the system, you got black people and white people going back and forth. That's what makes it race, man. There's no way that this should have been going on for this long. When this first happened, and they first got that audio, they pulled and rallied all of them up in the room before they even got lawyers and motherfucking questioned them, man. Threatened to put charges on them. You feel me? Because that's how you get them to talk. That's how they be getting black people to snitch. Threatening with charges, man. This is a murder investigation. Accessory after the fact, some shit like that. You know, you can threaten them. Get them to talk. But that's not how they do that, man. They get these kids and they treat them like victims, and the way that they interrogate it is nowhere comparable to the way that they interrogate black kids across this country. That's the issue, man. The issue is with the system.
Himself.
gotcha. There's a lot of people on the team, so who is it that you said you guys contacted or spoke with?
Liza Park. And we have a phone record. Our guy, Josh Gill, my incident commander, on the 13th, left her a message. And on the 13th, they reached out to her. And I think got back, I think it was 9:51 on the 14th. There was a 23-minute call with Josh Gill, our incident commander, and Liza Park, who I believe is Mr. Crump's lead attorney. And so they knew well what we did, the credentials of the dogs, and what our specific offer was. So they knew it ahead of time.
To Marie Pereira joining us, veteran criminal defense attorney. She is also a domestic violence expert and a registered nurse to boot. Marie, thank you for being with us tonight. Here's the deal. A lot has been made that Nolen Wells' family turned down an offer to have the boat searched with cadaver dogs, which, if they had hit on the boat, would suggest a dead body had been on the boat.
They probably don't trust them. What the fuck you mean? Let's get our own cadaver dog. Like, you see, even how she's covering this, right? She's covering this like somehow, some way the family is wrong for turning down their offer, but they probably don't trust them. It's a cover-up going on. I don't want none of y'all resources. I don't want your autopsy. I don't want your cadaver dogs. I don't want nothing. Everything that we're going to do on our own. That way we know that the information that we're receiving is correct. They could bring them cadaver dogs out that bitch and that dog hit on something and they don't report it to the family. Then the narrative is, oh, we brought the cadaver dogs out there and it didn't hit on nothing. Like, ain't nobody fucking stupid. And Nancy Grace ain't dumb either. But she she playing both sides of the fence. She's presenting it to the people like she care, but she's really a part of the cover-up. She really a part of the cover-up.
boat would suggest a dead body had been on the boat. Here is the fly in the ointment. It's not their boat. They can't give authority or permission or privilege for anybody to get on that boat and search the boat. So the fact that Crump's team didn't call back means nothing. They were not authorized to give authority or privilege or permission for anybody to board that boat, much less a cadaver dog or a scent dog.
You nailed it. And it's not his job.
She didn't nail it. No, the fuck she didn't nail it. They don't trust them people, man. I wouldn't trust them. That was my motherfucking family. That was my son. I wouldn't trust them at all. Wherever they at in Mississippi. Nothing or nobody that's a part of that investigation, man. Because we had 20-something days and they ain't even been an arrest yet. Our own dime, man. We're Colin Kaepernick. We got some motherfuckers that'll kick out some money indiscreetly. You should have had more people that'll kick out some money, but you know, that's a whole nother topic. But I wouldn't trust them at all, man. For real. Because there's no way after this audio came out, after they first got wind of this audio, man, it should have been some arrests made. It's an obvious cover up. You hear the kids in the background. You hear them. Like it ain't nobody tripping. Ain't nobody delusional. You hear them verbatim what they're saying, man. And like I said, she still ain't played the whole audio. She didn't play the whole audio.
The dog.
You nailed it. And it's not his job or anybody else's to do what the police need to be investigating. After hearing that audio, and knowing all the facts, they should be investigating this like it's a homicide and stop with the he say, she say from all of the kids on the boat who are...
How you gonna say he drowned and you hear the kids talking about is he dead? Nolen, you told him. Like, what are you talking about? That boy ain't drowned, man. Boy ain't drowned. That boy can swim, man. He's an athlete. Didn't drown, man. He was killed and probably pushed into the fucking water or dumped on the shoreline. Boy ain't fucking drowned. If he drowned, why the family had to track the phone down? Why they didn't just give him the phone immediately? Why when the kids first got questioned, they were speaking about in the past tense? Why when the family went to speak to the kids about the phone, why were they speaking about Nolen in the past tense? Because they already knew he was fucking dead, man. It was Nolen was my friend. Everything was. Everything was in the past tense. Go back and look at the videos. When the father was talking about getting the phone from the kids.
Who are presumed innocent at this moment, but I'm seeing and hearing guilt. Just off the fact that they even had his phone, that part. Why did you even have his telephone? I will never get over that because even as an adult, my phone is my life. If I'm staying back doing anything, I'm staying with my phone. So they need to be investigating all of those kids, interviewing them piece by piece, one at a time. And I promise you, somebody's gonna break and tell the truth here.
Tired of your car insurance going up for no reason? Use Jerry. You want to compare rates from 50 plus of the top insurers?
And then, what the fuck is you doing? Then the thing with the phone, you know they do got the little necklaces with the little plastic you can put the phone in. And I know every time I go to the beach, I'm in. You can have to give up your phone, man. Them things work great. Y'all know necklaces with the plastic you put the phone in, and it works. Oh man, phone don't never get wet. You ain't gotta give up your phone when you outside. You can dive in the water with that bitch. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do with that necklace on.
Use Jerry.
Tell the truth here.
Joining me is Marie Pereira. You know, in any criminal investigation, the first thing you do is get all the parties, all of them, and you separate them, and you question them separately. You give them a waiver, of their rights. They read it, they sign it, you read it out loud to them, you get all this on video, and you ask each one separately what happened before they have a chance to get together and talk. I'm not saying the friends are guilty.
Yo, I bet you ain't. If the mother didn't have the 360 app on that phone, she'd have never got it. They'd have never got it, yo. Luckily, they had the 360 app on their phone and they was able to track it to somebody's house. They'd have never got the phone. They'd have never got the key. They tried to lie about the fucking keys. The kids is trying to cover this shit up. And they're using their parents and the authority that some of their parents got in that town to fucking conceal it. It ain't gonna be no breaking news. The breaking news is gonna be Nolen was drunk, he fell, and the kids covered it up. That's gonna be the breaking news, man. I'm trying to tell you, they already started it. They already started it. Look at the article. Look at the article title. Just came out right after the audio get released. An article like this: witnesses told authorities Nolen Wells had heavy alcohol intake. You already know what they running. He was drunk. The kids were scared. You know, these are young kids. These are college kids. They didn't know what to do. They never been in this situation before. They're gonna make them sound like victims, and they hit it. You know, then they're gonna charge them with, you know, lesser charges that don't include murder. They're gonna get some type of probation or some shit like that. You know, move on to the next. Just telling y'all, be prepared for it. That's what's ready to happen.
Together and talk. I'm not saying the friends are guilty. I'm not saying they're innocent. What I am saying is that would have been proper police procedure. For all we know, it did happen. It doesn't sound like it happened. For all we know, it may have happened. The next thing you do is you ask them, would they willingly take a polygraph? Now, you and I, Marie...
No, you don't, bro. They're not even admissible in court. And she knows this. So I don't know why she said that. But polygraphs is not admissible, and you can't use polygraphs to determine guilt versus innocence.
Pereira know that in a criminal case, polygraphs are not allowed into evidence unless they are stipulated, agreed to, before the polygraph is taken. It's the only way they come in. Now, in civil cases, they're allowed in. Think of O.J. Simpson. Didn't come in the criminal case, didn't come in the civil case, and P.S. he flunked it. That said, that's what you do. You separate them, you talk to them, you record it, you get their waiver.
That's not what the fuck you do. You separate them and you threaten them. That's what the fuck you do. So that's what the fuck they do to us. You separate them and you threaten them and you play good cop, bad cop, and you bang on the table and you keep them in that bitch for 10 hours. That's what the fuck you do. That's how you get motherfuckers to talk. I don't know what the hell she talking about. She acting like this shit is a movie. Man, fuck no. You keep them in that room. You keep leaving. You come back. You leave again. You let them sit there. You let them, man. I break them. Let me fucking do the interrogation. I have all the motherfuckers in that bitch telling. I'm trying to tell like a bitch. I'm like, hold up. I'm trying to write this shit down, man. You moving too fast. That's how you get them. That's how you get them to talk. Keeping that bitch for 10 hours. Grab him at 3 o'clock in the morning. Grab him at 2 o'clock in the morning. Keep him up to motherfucking 2 p.m. I bet they get to tell it in.
Record it. You get their waiver of rights. You read their rights out loud on video. Then you talk to them. Not hard. Next thing, you bring cadaver dogs and scent dogs on that boat. Now, scent dogs are going to hit on the boat anyway because they state Nolen was on the boat. So they're going to pick up Nolen's scent on that boat. Cadaver dog, whole nother story. And another thing, I would get a search warrant for it. You may not need a search warrant because a moving vehicle, as you know, Marie Pereira, under U.S. v. Carroll, that was the case that goes all the way back to moonshine days, bootleggers. If it's exigent circumstances, in other words, the evidence could leave. In that case, it was a car that was weighted down in the back. and the prohibitionists thought there was moonshine in it, and there was, and they stopped the car.
Hey Jones. Next time I get on live, make sure you here. We can have a conversation. We can get on. We can have a real conversation. Let's see who's ignorant. Let's test your theory of my ignorance. Let's do that. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I've been interrogated several times. I know what the motherfuckers do when they trying to get a motherfucker to talk. The fuck is you talking about? This ain't no motherfucking kitty land. You get them motherfuckers in there, you put the press on them. You threaten them with charges. You tell them they ain't never coming home again. That's what the fuck you do to them motherfucking kids, bitch. The fuck is you talking about? What the fuck I'm talking about? You just a dumbass. Yo, but I'm at work, y'all. So make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. It's another day. Keep it you news. And I'm out.